You know, I had to sit my big, fat, tired, lazy ass down. Ooh, what a relief. I'm exhausted. We've been all over the country, me and my Jewish piano player. You know how we people get along so well. I think it's time to mellow things out a little bit right now. I know you're in the mood because I certainly am. Let's get to know the crowd just a little bit better. What do you say? Do we have any Scorpios in the house? Oh, yes, I feel your sexual energy knocking me off my chair. Virgos, will you please stop cleaning and pay attention to the show? Leos, can we talk about me for a change? Geminis, there's so many of you. Pisces, Cancers, don't bother to show your faces. I can't deal with you tonight. You know, the show is being brought to you tonight by the wonderful Mustang Motel, where you get your closed-circuit TV and everything else that's so wonderful, including the stereo jazz sounds of KKGO. And we've been breaking this song in at a club that no longer exists, but did exist when we broke this song in the Parisian Room with my very, very, very dear friend, Miss Cardilla DeMilo. For those of you who remember Cardilla, she did things her way, and we did things our way all the time, darling. And I would love to dedicate the show tonight to all of those who enjoy Remy Martin. Because I love to sit around my motel room after my show in my bra and panties, and I'll say to somebody, get me a Remy Martin with a water back, goddammit! Thank you. I know they like it, and I do too. And the show also goes out tonight to all of you who enjoy relating to a pretty lady like myself. Me and Mrs. Jones, thank you. We've got a thing going on. We both know that it's so wrong, but it's much too strong to let it cool now. We meet every day at that same cafe, 6:30, you know, I know, all right, I know she'll be there, holding hands, making all kinds of plans, while the jukebox plays our favorite song. Me and Mrs. Jones. Oh, Mrs. Jones, who knew when we first met over a Remy Martin, her being an Aquarius, myself being a Gemini, that we would become so involved so quickly, so intensely? We would both sing other people when we first met, but before we knew, we got ourselves in much too deep, child, way over our heads. And I'll tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen, and you've got to believe me when I say, because I never, no, I have never lied. Oh, when it's time for us to believe in, it hurts so much, it hurts so much, it hurts so much inside. Well, she'll go her way and I'll go mine, but tomorrow we'll meet at the same place and the same time. Me and Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, we've got a thing, a fundamental Sisters are doing it for themselves.